Good Sunday night, everyone. Welcome to the Steelers Game Day postgame. So I'm Mason Sapesky, your host, here with you. Sorry if the filming is a little blurry or my eyes are a little off of the camera. I'm trying my best, I'm actually filming this time on my iPad. Typically, I always film on my phone. This is actually my first time ever filming on my iPad. The only reason for that is because my phone's at like 3% right now. Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, though, who cares what percent my phone is on, because the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Seattle Seahawks today by a final score of, I believe it was 30-23, to keep their slim but potential playoff hopes alive. The game started off really good. We scored a touchdown. Jalen Warren, he is a beast. Jalen Warren is a beast. He got the touchdown going, 7-0. Seattle then got a touchdown going. They tied it 7-7. Boswell got a field goal later on, make it 10-7. Seattle then scored a touchdown. I forget who it was, but they made it 14-10. And then Pittsburgh, I think it was Pickens maybe? Pickens or Najee. I think it was one of the two. They scored a touchdown, give us a 17-14 lead, and that's the lead we had going into halftime. Played really good defense at the end of the second half. Give credit to Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin for that. That was amazing, the defense we played to get the ball back and be able to kneel it out going into halftime. That was huge, and that was very crucial for sure in the momentum of this game. We got another stop, made it 17-14. Then I actually think we scored to make it 24-14. Then they kicked some field goals, make it 24-20. We then scored a touchdown to make it 30-20. I think that was the Najee one that made it 30-20. And then Seattle kicked a field goal, made it 30-23. They tried an onside kick. We got a couple first downs. Really like the gutsy play call there by Faulkner and Sullivan. It was Sullivan actually who called the play, but really like that play call there. The pass play instead of run. You figure 9 times out of 10 they would have ran it, but they passed it. Really like that. Really like the execution today. That is how Steelers football is meant to be. Back-to-back 30-point weeks. You had never seen 30-point weeks. Well, guess what? We just got back-to-back of them. That feels so good. That feels so huge. And I'm really happy with the way this team is playing right now. My tidbits from this one are this. With the offense now finally figured out, we're obviously going to do this at the end of the season. It's probably a better thing to wait till the end of the year to do this. But I think it's pretty easy to tell that Trubisky is the worst quarterback on this roster, and Canada screwed up the offense. Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin is not an offensive-minded head coach. Mike Tomlin is a defensive-minded head coach. Mike Tomlin runs the defense. Yes, he runs the team. Yes, he manages the clock. Yes, he calls timeout. But I don't think... Obviously, he evaluates the depth chart and has to approve it. But I feel like the offensive coordinators have a major say with the depth chart. That and the depth chart at the beginning of the year, or at least up until the Colts lost to Indianapolis, had Trubisky ahead of Rudolph. That I don't think comes back to Mike Tomlin as much. Yes, you can make a case that it is his fault for that, but I think that comes back more so to Matt Canada. And you might have said this depth chart would have changed because Faulkner and Sullivan took over. But look, here's the thing. Canada was the one who managed this offense throughout the preseason and for the first 11 weeks of the season and managed that offensive depth chart. Him and Sullivan, I'm sure, were the ones who collaborated on the quarterback position and set the depth chart as follows. Number 1, Kenny Pickett. Number 2, Mitch Trubisky. Number 3, Mason Rudolph. That, I feel like, was a mistake. I don't feel like... Obviously, you would have said that they're an idiot for putting Rudolph ahead of Trubisky. Now it looks like you're an idiot if you put Trubisky ahead of Rudolph. So that's the problem. If Rudolph would have started the Colts game even, we would have possibly won that game and had control of our own destiny. Think about that. I mean, yeah, you have to blame the coaching staff, not Mike Tomlin, but you have to blame his assistants, more so Canada and Sullivan, for that stupid decision. Because Mason Rudolph is balling out right now. I mean, if you've seen these past 2 weeks, he looks like Patrick Mahomes out there. He knows this offense better than Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I know Randy Fichtner, whatever it's called, was the coordinator back in 2019 when he got all that playing time. But heck, this man led the Steelers to an 8-8 record. He knows the system. And yes, the Duck Hodges was played a lot too, but Mason Rudolph was the leader of this team then. Heck, he kept it close. If you remember in 2019, week 3, he kept it close with a San Francisco team in San Francisco. That San Francisco team almost won the Super Bowl. He didn't get embarrassed and annihilated at home by San Francisco. He went out to San Francisco in 2019 and almost walked away with a victory with only 1 week of practice. Think about that. This guy is talented. Yes, he's had his screw-ups. Like, for instance, that Cincinnati game, I think in 2019, he screwed up. And the Cleveland incident. And obviously the fact that we tied the Detroit Lions in 2021 when they hadn't won a game. But think about it. He's improved so much. He's matured. And he should have been given a chance much earlier. This offense has truly come to life. I mean, the line is playing well. And I said before, you can't blame the line because they showed significant improvements over last year. The front office, Omar Khan, Andy Weidel, they did an amazing job in improving that line this offseason by bringing in Broderick and by bringing in Sam Alou. They've both been great players this year. And we need to do more. We probably need to bring in a center, and we probably need to bring in a tackle via the draft or free agency just to have one. However, it's not as urgent of a problem as it was a couple weeks ago. Because of the wacky play calling. They ran conservative offenses under Pickett, under Trubisky. Why? Because they don't have as much experience with the Steelers system as Mason Rudolph does. He knows the system better than any other quarterback on this football team. So why not make him the starter even from the beginning? If they let this man walk in the offseason, there will be people on Art Rooney Avenue and General Robinson Street holding up signs and rioting. And I don't blame them. They will be peacefully protesting the fact that we let Rudolph walk. And I don't blame him. Because Rudolph is probably the best quarterback on this roster. And it's a shame because I like Kenny Pickett. I actually love Kenny Pickett. Favorite quarterback in the league. But Kenny Pickett will be able to do great things in this league. He just needs time to mature. The ceiling for Pickett is probably higher than that of Mason Rudolph's. However, he needs a couple years to mature and learn the system. So what they need to do is they need to have somebody in there as an offensive coordinator that knows Mason Rudolph or that can get the most out of Mason Rudolph. Because as of right now, I think the offseason plan needs to be going into 2024. We need to re-sign Mason Rudolph and assume he's going to be the starting quarterback. That's how it works. Yes, you can say 2019 was his chance to be this quarterback and he blew it. But I would say you need to give him probably one more shot. A new offensive coordinator, Mason Rudolph, give him 1 year at the helm. I finished this video outside here. My mom and sister just got back from a little walk, so we're going to finish this video outside here. Sorry you can't really see my face, and sorry for the poor contact here. It's so blurry. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, though, we are back to you guys now. Steelers beat the Seahawks 30-23 at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. But anyway, back to what we were just talking about inside. It's so much better inside with lighting. I'm going to make this brief because, quite frankly, I can't stand the way I look in this. But anyway, though, just to make this brief, and it's kind of creepy even with the lights and stuff. But to be honest, I mean, yeah, we just got to evaluate the offense, see what went wrong, especially in the Arizona, New England, and Indianapolis games, and move forward. You know, regardless of what happens week 18, you got to still be proud of the team, how they improved and stuff, and just got to give them credit. Got to give them credit, for sure. That's all I have for you guys today on the Steelers game day post game, so I didn't want to do it too long out here because of the lighting. Look how bad it is, for sure. Anyway, though, that's all. Like I said, that's all I have. The next game is the last game of the season. It will be either Saturday, January 7th or Sunday, January 8th. Most likely Saturday, January 6th or Sunday, January 7th. Most likely the 7th. Will be against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, Maryland. Kickoff, well, if it's Saturday, it will either be at 4:30 or 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. If it's Sunday, it will either be 1 o'clock or 4:25 on CBS. Definitely interesting times, that's for sure. So here's what the Steelers need to get in. Taking a look around the league, the Bengals lost, which is good because that eliminates them from the playoff picture. And the Broncos are out of the playoff picture as well. Vegas also got itself eliminated today. So Baltimore, our opponent next week, clinched the 1 seed in the NFC and the AFC North title. Which is good because now they can rest people and it makes it easier for us. So they're the number 1 seed. They have nothing to play for next week. Miami is the number 2 seed. They will host Buffalo for the AFC East title game. Kansas City is the 3 seed. Jacksonville is the 4 seed. Cleveland is locked into the 5 seed. And most likely will play the winner of the AFC South. The 6th seed is the Buffalo Bills, 10-6 at the moment. The 7th seed is the Indianapolis Colts. The 8th seed is the Houston Texans. The 9th seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, here's the deal. To get into the playoffs, the Steelers need a win, Jacksonville to lose, and the Jaguars to lose at the Titans, or the Bills to lose at the Dolphins. That's very possible, and there's a really good chance of that happening and us getting in this. Which would be insane, which is insane. If the Jaguars lose, the Texans-Colts game will determine who wins the AFC South. If the Jaguars win, they win the South. The winner of that Texans-Colts game is going to the playoffs. The loser is going home. One of the biggest games of the year. The Bills, if they lose and Pittsburgh wins, will miss the playoffs. This is a huge weekend next week. I'm very excited to see it all go down. It will be interesting, to say the least. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be interesting when we find out what time we play. I'm guessing we're going to play at 4 o'clock, 4:25. But we could play at 1 o'clock along with the Jaguars and the Titans. However, I don't see that happening because the fact if Jacksonville loses in Tennessee, the fact that the Colts-Texans will literally determine who wins that division. In fact, I would not be surprised if the NFL decided to make the Saturday games all AFC South. Jaguars-Titans at 4:30, Colts-Texans at 8. Because that game's going to be a night game regardless. Bills-Dolphins is pretty much already locked into Sunday night. So, and you have to put Texans-Colts on prime time because that's a win-or-go-home game. So you essentially have to put Texans-Colts on Saturday night. So it would only make sense for the NFL to put Jaguars-Titans at 4:30 to know if this is for the division or if this is just a winner-go-home game. And then play us at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And let us see what happens. It's wild. Schedule will come out later tonight. But again, that's how I think it should be, and I hope that's how it is. So it'll definitely be interesting for sure. Definitely interesting times. That's all I have for you guys today. I will see you next week for the pregame and postgame. So hopefully it's not our last. Hopefully we got some playoff football on us. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. Happy New Year. Pray for Israel. And as always, peace. See you guys next week.